Hello, and welcome back to the Gamer's Tale. I'm Trent Ganner. I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'm joined by Kyle and Joshua whenever he gets back, and we'll be talking about classic games and the birth and death of franchises. I'm just going to turn down my audio over here so that I can actually hear, and make sure I have access to chat, and that should be good. All right. So before we were getting on, Kyle and Joshua and I were reliving the dark days of That's What I Call Music and dial-up for like the last 20 years. Well, not we haven't been reliving it. We have been talking about stuff from the last 20 years. Oh, come on. Have I really killed the conversation already? No.
Yeah. I'm just remembering, like, I got a cold chill thinking about dial-up and
For those of you who haven't lived through it, you cannot understand the pain. I once tried to play RuneScape on dial-up. It worked for a while, and then they actually got serious about the game, started adding more and more content. It was just like, I can't do that. Nope.
Yeah. I'm just remembering back to the good old days of freearcade.com and all those other ones where you could go on and play, like, text adventures and different little mini games on Flash, back when Flash was a thing. And how much of a pain in the butt it was just to run those on a good day.
I'm thinking back to when I was doing research for the first show for D&D, that they had the illusion of you be able to do everything. It's just all text-based, and you had to insert text commands, and it was just like a picture and of just this place, and that's all you saw except for the text that came up telling you what was happening.
Yeah.
Which, if you think about it, is alarming.
The ones I played didn't even have a background picture. It was just black screen.
How fast and how far we've come in only 30 some odd years.
Yeah. Some days
it's both terrifying and awesome.
Yeah. Some days I think back to 99 when The Matrix came out. Was it 99, 98? And they were talking about the 90s being the peak of their civilization. And I'm thinking,
you know what?
God, they're right.
Yeah, they actually are.
I feel like we've gone so far backwards.
Well, hey, we have hieroglyphics as our communication now.
We do.
And
we had a movie about it. It was terrible, but we had a movie about it.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
The Emoji Movie. I'm never going to see that, to be honest.
I think the people who actually did see it wish they had never seen it.
You shared that thing last week. My kids forced me to watch the Emoji Movie, and now I hate my kids.
Yeah.
I don't even want to watch Inside Out with the feelings being personified.
I caught part of it one day. I think it was on TV or something. And my only thought was, if that's how the feelings are in that one girl, obviously they follow the personality of each person. And then I started thinking about Jeffrey Dahmer and Charles Manson, and then it just went out of control and I had to stop.
Oh my God. Oh, yes. We're here. If you were talking about just how terrible the 90s were and how that actually has been affecting us mentally, because we had talked about the Emoji Movie and Dahmer. The Emoji.
Oh, yes. Oh, God. Oh, my God. And people watch it too. I mean, it got bad reviews, but people actually sat down, paid money to watch it.
Yeah, reminds me of that one thing that they had for what's it called? They had Barbosa from at World not at World's End on Stranger Tides. It says when you've been a pirate all your life and you buy a Steam game, they have him as the Buccaneer for the Royal Navy.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
Because he was a pirate and now he's an official Buccaneer or official servant of the crown. And just because you're a pirate stealing all the games, and then now you've purchased a Steam game like a normal person.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the 90s were. You guys remember that? Mighty Ducks. That was a good movie, and Cool Runnings.
Oh man, Cool Runnings.
I don't remember Cool Runnings. I remember the cartoon Mighty Ducks and the various incarnations that they had for people. And gargoyles.
Man, that was some good times. Gargoyles, Tailspin, Mighty Ducks.
They're all revamping those into the new methamphetamine fueled cartoon style.
Yep. And DuckTales and Darkwing Duck are the first ones. Well, maybe not first ones, but they're.
I would like to see a rendition of Tailspin as like a post-apocalyptic video game. I think that'd be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Where would they fly to?
Wait,
Where do they fly to?
Anywhere and everywhere.
Well, if you think if you think about it, the way they portrayed stuff in Tailspin was rather post-apocalyptic. It was very, you know what I think about? He was a cargo smuggler. There's nothing legitimate about that show.
They tried to set up a little bit legitimate front, but yeah, they were really not.
It's weird how I look back on that. It's like it never really occurred to me that there was no. You really didn't see much of any kind of law in there. There was just like private mercenary groups fighting each other versus the pirates.
And it was awesome.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome.
It was all of the freedom.
Yeah, you know, they don't make like music themes like for TV shows. They don't make it like the Gargoyles one anymore, you know? I still remember that Gargoyles theme. Now all being you know, like most of the new shows, you know, with the exception of like Rick and Morty, their themes kind of, you know, it's not really that catchy.
Yeah, I mean, if you want one now, you kind of have to watch anime, and even then, it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually depends on the anime. Some of them actually do take from like K-pop and stuff like that, and I just revealed I'm a massive weeb. Yeah.
K-pop.
And
We're not here to judge.
Teenage heartthrobs. Lol.
yeah. The thing about it is that a lot of I actually started watching more primarily anime because of the good storylines. And I just finished Cowboy Bebop and working on Samurai Champloo, which are heavily based on music. And it's like you have really great, really great music set up in there. And then we switch over to another show, and it's just like all the canned stuff that they've had for like the last, I don't know, 25 years. That hasn't really changed much at all.
How did you like that episode of Ballad of Fallen Angels?
Which that one for?
The first time we're introduced to Vicious, yeah, for Bebop.
Oh, I'm trying to remember because I watched it over like the last 6 months because I was really unmotivated to kind of finish it. But
the one where he falls off the thing, the church.
Oh yeah, that part. That one was interesting. The whole Vicious, what's her name? The whole love triangle is like
Julia,
they were all interconnected in a way in which you couldn't really have them survive without each other. Like they actually were necessary to each other's survival, and that they had to end it that way. I don't know what's happening, but I thought we were supposed to be talking about games, but here we are talking about anime.
Well, we were talking about old TV shows, and it kind of just flowed.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of the classic anime seems to be pretty interesting. Let's just put it that way.
It doesn't seem like they're putting a lot of thought into the new animes, and it doesn't seem like they're like like
they give a crap.
yeah, right. Like I like the Netflix series. It's technically an anime, but the art style is just it's kind of weird. It's it's not like drawn anymore. They don't use cells or anything like that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
mean like the weird
Like their
3D?
movements are blocky. Yeah. They're like blocky, they're very like the way they walk, it's not good. The only art style that I like is
Yeah.
Ruby. That's like that. But Ruby's a little different. Because it's like
I
that from
can
the
never
beginning.
I could never get into Ruby. I tried watching like the first 2-3 episodes, and it just didn't grab me like Red versus Blue did.
Yes, Red versus Blue is a better series, but it gets better. It gets better. Like I kind of like slaved through the first 4 episodes.
Yeah,
And then
let's
the
put
later
it this
seasons
way.
got better.
I don't like series where I kind of have to slave through stuff. I would like to get to be able to drag me in. I did kind of slave my way through the Bebop had to set up an entire world, and so it took a bit longer to get into it because it's like, okay, we have space, we have this guy exercising, we have lunch, and we find out that they're on a tight shoestring budget, and oh, they just happen to be bounty hunters 200, 300 years in the future. And I could understand why it took so long for the show to progress, but it didn't grab me as quickly as Champloo did, where it's like, okay,
Like straight
something's
out, like
happening.
action. Yeah, like right in the beginning.
It's like, okay, we have the T stand. It's like, I know where this is going. There's a dick guy over there. We have a problem that needs to be solved. I have the external conflict I know I need to have. Yeah, I didn't get that with Bebop. I got that pretty decently with both the incarnations of Hellsing.
Yeah, it's not like have you seen the Castlevania Netflix series?
No, I don't have Netflix.
I barely made it through the first episode. It just couldn't grab me at all.
Yeah, it's it's like I said, like new versus old. They don't make them like they used to anymore, and I wish they did. They put more like thought into like the storyline and how characters develop.
Yeah, I think that's been like the common theme for this entire show is that games are good not because of the graphics, but because of the story we encounter in them. And it goes the same with TV and movies. I'm not gonna say we all like Star Wars, but Star Wars is mainly there because we enjoyed the story because it was based off of some pretty good stories itself, and people have been executing it rather decently, I would say, for the last 35 some odd years. And we then result in the crap that we kind of have now, where we had really great storytelling in Clone Wars, moderately good storytelling in Rebels.
Indeed, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I agree. I mean, as humans, we've always, from the beginning of time, we've always loved stories. That's the way we communicate. That's the way we bond.
Mm.
And like you said with the graphics, doesn't matter if it's like some crappy graphics, a la PSX. Have you guys played the game Xenogears? It's still one of my top 5 video games ever, just because of the storyline.
I've heard of it, but I never played it.
Yeah, it kind of draws you in. I venture to say that it's even better than Final Fantasy VII, but
Our one viewer says they like Castlevania.
Yeah, Castlevania was okay. It was not as good as Shampoo though. But then again, totally different like styles.
Oh yeah. I'm guessing it's nowhere near the Helsing style, which was blood and over-the-top gore that somehow made it all work.
It's a little similar, but like the premise of a Helsing is it's a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's put it this way: the entire Castlevania series has been odd from the beginning, since it is technically one of the first survival horror video games. And we see the professional monster hunter persona to be kind of solidified in Simon Belmont. And then there was all the weird Game Boy games and games after that, where it's like his entire bloodline and some random dude who he took in. And then Simon Belmont also becomes Dracula, and then ends up having to get killed by one of his ancestors or one of his descendants, all while wielding a whip, which is probably one of the most impractical weapons to ever have for fighting anything.
Whoa. Indiana Jones had a whip.
Yeah, but he didn't really use it as the way Belmont uses it. He used it to strangle people and to beat people. Castlevania just has it more. He uses it to whip people, and then sometimes there's a spiked ball at the end, and yet it somehow functions the exact same way every time.
Which could be, said that it's a specialty weapon, and he's very skilled with it, but it's not relatable.
I read the book about a it was a Castlevania knockoff. No, it was actually a Castlevania book about a kid getting sucked into the video game realm with Simon Belmont in order to defeat Dracula, finally. I forget what it was, not Masters of the Universe. It was Castlevania, and it was him actually living out the video game to reconstruct Dracula and then to finally kill him. It was pretty much like every gamer's fantasy from the NES series. His main provisions.
Why won't you die already?
Yeah, his main provisions were actually what he did. He grabbed like 3 bags of M&Ms, like big bags, and like 12 full-size, family-size candy bars, and that's what he brought with him to survive the rigors of the Castlevania realm.
Yeah, that would be gone within like a couple of days for me, and then I'd get like bad diarrhea after.
I think the funniest example that I had from that one was Simon Belmont says if he begins acting strangely, he's turning over to Dracula, and that he needs to be like snapped out of it. And so the kid says, "So what do you mean, like behaving strange, like hitting old ladies with sledgehammers?" It's like, that's the best example you have. That's the first place your mind goes when someone says you're behaving strangely, is to hit old ladies with sledgehammers. That's what you're going.
I mean, that is strange behavior.
It is very strange behavior. I will not deny that, because hitting anyone with a sledgehammer, unless you're the Hammer Brothers,
or unless you deserve it,
Yeah, there's that. But since I inadvertently brought up Mario, Mario has probably been one of the longest-running franchises for any game series other than Castlevania and them.
Yeah.
They're still making those, right?
Yeah, they're still making Mario.
Yeah, they're still making Mario. I was never into it.
But you don't like
eating
illicit mushrooms and jumping down pipes as a plumber to save a random princess?
Who's never there when she's supposed to be.
Right. You guys see some of the old college humor videos within like the last couple years?
All I've seen are the Batman ones.
I think I've seen them.
There's this one where the guy goes, he shoots the chief engineer for the cannons, because he made like large bullets that move really slow.
Oh, I think I remember that one, actually. See, these bullets are moving too slow. They're supposed to be fast. That way he can't jump on them.
So you want me to make them faster? No, I want you to make regular guns.
I mean, the giant bullet bills would be effective if they actually moved at normal speeds. Which actually some of them were quite fast.
My family's literally dead, Jerry. My kids are literally dead because of you.
Oh, I feel as if all the remnants of the 90s have become all these cynical, sarcastic individuals who just kind of slip in the old culture that we had and gained that we learned from all those shows and video games, and just slipping them subliminally to see who actually recognizes them, to weed out all the people, or to continue the 90s traditions.
Yeah, man, we had it good, and these kids now, they're not like, what we had. We had like a society like peace, It was really peaceful in like the 90s.
Well, yeah,
we grew up in that, we didn't have to worry about.
I grew up half in the 90s, so from 95, and then all of a sudden 2001 hits, and it's like, okay, where's that peace now?
I started out in the 80s, so...
So did my brother.
Yeah. He's not wrong. It was nicer not worrying about all that.
Like bullshit.
Wait, didn't you have the Cold War to worry about?
Okay, so it wasn't that peaceful, but...
It's not like it was, like today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But
and I think that's like also like a measure of like the internet, how we can all communicate and see like news instantaneously. We get like citizen journalists that just post a video on Facebook, YouTube, and it goes viral, and we get to know like the information firsthand versus it took like a couple of days or like a day.
In some examples, we get to see the crime firsthand.
Yeah. It's that idiot who streamed like he was robbing a house on Facebook Live.
I was thinking of the people who were torturing some random autistic dude up in Chicago.
Yeah, those guys, deserve to get shot. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay. I don't understand the thought process. One, of torturing an individual, and two, videotaping your crime as you do it.
They want to be famous.
Yeah, and that's my whole gripe with the like the ass end of the millennial generation. Is they want to be famous.
Hey, don't talk about my ass.
No, I mean not like generally, not there are exceptions, dude, and like they want to get famous, they don't want to do things like work.
Wasn't that why Lenin died? John Lennon, not Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah, that he loved the guy so much that he wanted to kill him. There's something like that.
They actually featured that in one of the Star Wars Expanded Universe stories, where the guy wanted to attach himself to one of the main guys who they're trying to move over to a Sith. He wanted to be attached to his storyline rather than some nobodies, because he himself was an archaeologist of some sort, and some of the Clone Wars era Jedi had become immortalized in certain story arcs of native peoples. And so he wanted to attach himself to a story arc of a famous Jedi. He ended up turning himself into pink mist with the explosive strapped to his back, but all in all, it's not all that different from certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the Cold War. It only reminds me of Castle Wolfenstein. That was an interesting continuation of an older franchise. We're actually supposed to be talking about franchises today.
Did you see the new Wolfenstein 2 footage?
I have not. Shadow of the New
You can pull it up.
Colossus.
No, it was the trailer. Let me pull it up real quick.
Was the one with the Nazi and the milkshake, or?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that one.
It's
As if that wasn't obvious.
Let me pull it up.
I mean,
It looks pretty good.
it does look good.
Absolutely.
I think the alternate history route for a lot of things is quite an interesting trope to use. I am just waiting for the inevitable part after that scene where the guy locks the doors and begins to interrogate you even more than what he did then. And then he ends up somewhere in the freezer in the back of the cafe, and then you're on the run for the rest of the game.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That's just my guess of what's going to happen, because I'm just thinking it's like, okay, oh, and where are your papers? They're going to be wherever they're going to find you.
Did you guys ever get into the something similar, the Man in the High Castle?
I've heard about it, but since it's still on Netflix, I still have not gotten Netflix in the past. Between now and the last time you referenced a Netflix
It is not on
show. No,
no, it's on Amazon Prime.
no, but I don't have that either. So
Oh, that's what I was talking about. The that thing, that streaming service.
I got into it. Have we gotten a new season yet?
No, I don't think so.
That's disconcerting because I really like the. I'm digging the alternate timeline of, oh hey, everything we know never happened, but it did. It's kind of weird. It's
Yeah, like we lost World War II, and the Germans are now like ruling over U.S.
You want to talk about storyline?
yeah, actually, if I remember the storyline, is that we were bifurcated into Japanese America and Germany America.
Yes.
That's quite interesting. From what I've heard of it, it sounds like a very interesting tale, and it just reminded me of the other one, Westworld, where it's like we're seeing all these like 50s era and cowboy era stuff coming back into the fore with stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Wolfenstein.
See, I like Red Dead Redemption 2, Wolfenstein, all that. I'm not really a fan of Westworld. I think they kind of they milked it too much in the beginning.
Well, I haven't watched either of these series, and I've never played Red Dead Redemption, but I've wanted to for like 5 years. Main problem being me not being able to buy them.
That's an issue.
Hmm.
I've watched the series, but I've not played anything Red Dead at all.
Yeah, there seems to be like I said before, a resurgence in the cowboy shooter, because Fistful of Frags is one of the games I would normally play, has popped up as being pretty good and pretty popular on Steam. And then we have stuff like Red Dead Redemption coming back, and then we have Westworld and The Dark Tower, which I'm going to be waiting for them to build a crappy video game about it like they did for every other crappy movie that they did within 2000 and 2010, because we had Van Helsing. There was always a themed video game that popped up after they had a really crappy movie to try to capitalize on the hype.
Except for Doom.
Yeah, Doom was in the reverse. They had a good video game, and then they made a crappy movie.
It's not like they weren't even trying,
I'm trying to figure out, because I think there was multiple versions of Doom. I've only seen the one with The Rock.
That's the one.
Okay, yeah.
There was
that one was
minute and 20-second of awesomeness where right there at the end, where you got to be first-person shooter, but that was about it.
Have any of you seen Hardcore Henry?
No, I want to though.
I want to. I have yet to see it on Redbox or anywhere else.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see it as well because you said first person, and I thought, you know what, they did an entire couple of movies now where they featured a lot of first person. That means I'm waiting for the like the old amusement park rides where they had your first person perspective
It
for
looks
like
like
these
it would
3D
give me
movies.
It would look like it would give me like um
Motion
motion
sickness.
sickness. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I never really had that. I used to run myself dizzy just to see the room spin. And then it got to a point where it's like, oh, I can't barely move my head anymore. Otherwise, I'm going to throw up.
Yeah, I think for me it's like a little more gradual. So, playing games like Half-Life 2 or like, Fallout, first person shooter Fallout, sometimes it gives me motion sickness. So I have to like take breaks in between and take like a Dramamine or something like that to get rid of the like nausea and headache.
I thought you said Dacia for some reason.
Sandero?
Oh, man. Yeah, I think there are some ways that I wish they would continue certain series. I was thinking of Mercenaries, because Pandemic Studios just died, and we're never going to get a Mercenaries 3 unless it gets picked up by someone else. But then there's some ones like Call of Duty, which I enjoy Call of Duty, but I kind of want it to die because I'm tired of all the Call of Duty.
I hate the space shooter element of it. It's just I think some of the best games of the Call of Duty franchise was Modern Warfare 2 and 3. 2 was better than 3, but after all that,
No, I agree.
I have been informed that season 2 of Man in the High Castle is out.
I know I'm going to be binge watching later.
Right?
I might be binge watching. I won't be binge watching it tonight. I have other things to do. But maybe tomorrow night I'll be binge watching Samurai Champloo. Or like the 3 hours of watch later videos that I have on my YouTube.
Whoever watches those anyway.
I do. No, it's actually more like 12 hours. Too many Forgotten Weapons videos.
Yeah, you guys see that one with the gilded, guns?
I haven't. Not yet.
It's really good, man. The way they, the way the host explains all of it and all the history behind it. It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Today I watched the one about the volcanic lever action pistol, which you can play in, which you can use moderately effectively in Fistful of Frags. It's like crap tier,
Really?
just above the Derringer. Yeah, of course I'm going to recruit everyone to play Fistful of Frags with me because it's awesome. They've recently added the Spencer Carbine.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
But
is it a Steam game or a?
It is a Steam game.
Console. Okay, gotcha.
Going back to Mercenaries, though.
It has very crappy graphics, but it's very fun.
I miss being able to play Mercenaries 1.
I've only played Mercenaries 2, but if it was any good, if Mercenaries 2 had indicative of half as good as Mercenaries 1, then yes, I want to play Mercenaries 1.
It was awesome, and the only reason I kind of want to go and get the original Xbox.
It's not backwards compatible with the newer ones.
No, it was backwards compatible with the 360 to a point, and once you got into North Korea or the Korean airspace, the whole map would go blue and your game would freeze in 5 minutes.
Oh, that sucks.
It was unpleasant, and you couldn't get very far in the game if you stayed away from it.
Wow. I just remember I have an old PS2, the Slim, and it's slowly dying, so that actually can't handle Mercenaries 2 anymore. So it gets to the point where it's like you can't blow up. Well, I tried to bring a tank back to the home base so that I could have it dropped in whenever I wanted to, but they didn't allow that. So pretty much I had to demo a bridge that I had gotten stuck on, and then log out, log back in so that the bridge would be fixed and I could actually drive across it again.
Nice.
Nice.
I stole so much crap in that game. Literally, I had one vehicle from every single faction for every single thing. I think I stole the cheap helicopter from the Venezuelans. So the expensive helicopter from the Venezuelans. I think I purchased an American helicopter. I never used any of the the air bombs that you could purchase. I had a bunch of them. I never used them. I just used C4 and any car that I stole.
Yeah. That was
My favorite car to get in that game for the civilian side was the RTR. It was this big, heavy muscle car that drifted like a dream. I could go like 70 and not actually crash because it was so sluggish in its controls. But the sports car that they had turned on a dime, and so it would end up being that as I tried to drift, I would go 360 into some sort of tree or up a cliff. And decided I didn't like the sports car anymore.
I ran the motorcycles a lot in that game.
It was in the PS2 version. It didn't have any motorcycles, which was a bummer. Closest thing I got was one of those Sea-Doos. Jet skis. Yeah, that's it.
I didn't realize that it was like this one I was using, motorcycles in the 360 version.
Motorcycles are in the PS3 version and the 360 version. They bowed to the masses a bit in PS2 and gave them a slightly less rich version of the game.
That sucks.
Thinking about that made me reminded me of the game Up Your Arsenal by Ratchet and Clank, and they have the first viewing of Sly 2 as a bonus part of the disc. So you have to put in a certain code or something, and you can play the first level of Sly 2 in a slightly different manner than what actually happened. All the demo discs.
Oh,
Were you
All the
guys,
nickname from playing it.
were you guys into any like Crash Bandicoot or like a Twisted Metal series?
My cousin was into Twisted Metal. I was mainly Ratchet and Clank, all their sexual innuendos, which should probably explain why I'm this way now. And Sly.
I did Twisted Metal for a little while, but
Now
I
he's
never
turned his
did
back
racing
around.
games. Aha.
Yeah, I actually I have 2 of the Jack games, and despite the fact that I kind of vehemently dislike racing games, I enjoy the vehicle and racing combat in those. Of course, I also like the aerial combat in Ratchet and Clank, mainly because I strapped a nuke to the bottom of it. I could take out large amounts of people.
What about any like Dance Dance Revolution? That was big with the
I know,
Asians.
my brother's friend, who's like one of the best gamers we've known for a while, had Dance Dance Revolution, and my brother got really into it, but we never got a pad good enough or any of the things. We had Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah, Guitar Hero was fun. So was that other game with the like the drums and
Oh, Rock Band.
yes, Rock Band was good.
They eventually added a singing version of what's it called? Guitar Hero. which seems a bit odd, because it's Guitar Hero.
Was it any good?
I never had a mic to use. Oh, I had a mic, but it's actually a headset. It was okay, maybe because I don't like singing out loud.
Yeah.
With people around.
Don't have a singing.
But then they had World Tour, which was pretty much just Rock Band Light in a Guitar Hero skin.
How do
you
they
play Lincoln?
Milk, all these series,
Yeah, wow. That's another thing that we're talking about, or what I was aiming for. It's like, okay, when should a franchise die? And when should it be resurrected? Because I think the Mercenaries series should be resurrected. And I think as far as they went with Ratchet and Clank and Sly, I haven't really heard much out of them recently. But I think they had a decent size collection. And Halo has kind of died off as well as they moved on to Destiny.
Well, we've got at least one more Halo coming out. That way they can finish off the story. But I think one of the reasons why Mercenaries died off is, didn't Mercenaries 2 come out and they didn't, the Venezuelan government didn't like the fact that they were being portrayed as bad guys? I feel like I feel like that's a reason why.
But they are bad guys.
I thought that was the Chinese that kicked up a stink about that, because they invaded in the game story with the UN, and it was the Chinese versus the Venezuelans versus the UN, who were the Americans, facing off against a Chinese woman, a black guy, and a Swede.
That's funny.
That was the best part of it. That's why I bought the game.
Yeah. I mean, I worked for literally every single faction. I think my favorite one was the pirate faction. I could never master shooting the RPG to hit the forklift that they would shoot up and in the air for like trap shooting. That was one of the mini games that they had. I could never get that.
Yeah, you're not the only one. I didn't really dig the mini games in that one, though.
I didn't really play the mini games. I usually just did these exact same 6 missions over and over again to earn up a crap load of money that I never spent.
Same.
I did that for Defiance. That game just ate up like most of 2013. You guys ever play?
That kind of reminds me of what I would do in RuneScape, where it's just I would literally just walk around and maybe do some skilling and maybe do some merchanting. And then I would just like find random crap on the ground that was worth bunches of money, sell it, and then that's how I became a millionaire in the game.
Nice.
You ever get a chance to spend like any of the like buy like the runic armor and all that?
I'm dressed in full rune right now. In game, they made it unbelievably cheap. It's actually quite annoying, like.
Is there something like more expensive than runic armor right
now? There is 2 levels above that. If you're a member, you'll get dragon, and if you're a non-member, you'll get corrupted dragon, which is like a Barrows like thing that would decay after you started using it. Yeah.
How do you like the the 3D element?
I would usually play it on this computer, and it has a terrible time keeping up. So if anything requires very flat, fast clicking or very accurate clicking, this rig is not what I'm going to be using. It's completely terrible for that, and because it's like the moment I click, it's already 3 feet off from where I clicked.
Yeah, it was I think they changed that back in 2010 or 11. Right?
It was about 13. I stayed on the classic RuneScape vision for a while. Then I had to unlock the awesome abilities that they took from WoW.
Yeah,
and applied it there.
speaking about WoW, I think that's like one game that should like die.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
I never played WoW, not even once.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I wanted to,
you
but
know, it was like crack, when I first started playing. But then, a lot of the stuff that they have now, like the content's like rehashed. They like rehash things.
I fell out after just before Cataclysm came out, way back when.
Yeah, me too. I bought Cataclysm, but I didn't play. I was we did like Endgame, Lich King, you know,
Yeah.
rating, but after that, it just kind of got boring. That and like guild drama.
That was where I fell out on it.
I freaking hated guild drama. What server were you on?
Blade Angels.
Blade Angels. Okay, yeah, I was on a
It was-
Destro with the Rampage battle group when they still had battle groups.
One of my best friends, that was his guild that he started it and all the other fun stuff. And it was fun for up until level 60 because they kept trying to help me power level through everything so we could do with PvP and all that other stuff.
Right.
And after a while, it got boring for me because I wanted to go and do other stupid things like make other characters and run around and be dumb.
Yeah, that's what I did. In the off days when we weren't raiding. So we actually got to explore the Arathi Highlands, if you remember that.
A little bit.
Yeah, the Arathi Highlands, right next to Ironforge.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the wetlands, and we were able to use like spells because we didn't have flying before this.
Right.
Flying was introduced in Cataclysm, so in the old world. So we could only fly in the new worlds. So, but yeah, we were able to explore that, and then there was a lot of glitches that we were able to look at. I actually fell down underneath into below Stormwind.
I had heard about that happening.
Yeah, there's like a special spot in one of the you go left in one of the corridors. You could fall through a crack that wasn't visible.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how anyone found it, but once they did, we fell through, and then
well, obviously they found it from dicking around and just randomly happened to them. So let's do it again.
it was fun, and then we had and there's places like Ironforge that you can you could do that too, and it was it kind of gave a glimpse into what the future expansions will hold. What I don't like with the new WoW system is the cinematics. It looks pretty stupid. It looks like looks like they tried to turn it into a movie, which doesn't really work. Like movie style.
They kind of did that with RuneScape, and I like the new colors and stuff like that, but I kind of miss the old classic one, which I guess is one of the reasons why they came out with old school RuneScape. But yeah,
Blizzard had Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's more movie themed, more audio centric in RuneScape now. You're mainly there for cosmetics and just new quests that keep coming out, instead of you're there to play the game, skill, hang out with people.
That's what made it so addictive, I think.
Yeah.
Especially like WoW and like RuneScapes. You were just there, fishing with like a whole bunch of other people, saying doing stupid stuff with your friends.
I literally had an in-depth conversation on the beach last year, I think it was, because I have the beach again this year for skilling. And I got into an in-depth political discussion about Bernie Sanders and why socialism is the answer to all our problems, especially voluntary socialism. based off of the Spanish example in like 1853.
How did that go?
It went surprisingly well, and the guy said, socialism is not authoritarian, and then this one random guy who was siding with him for most of the time says, but dude, it's entirely authoritarian. Yeah.
Oh, gamers.
Fistful of Frags is also another one where I had high-end political discussions raging in the background while I shot people. Its chat is cancer, but yet entertaining at the same time.
It's kind of like old Baron's chat. Oh, before they had all the filters in WoW. Like the unspeakable things that were. Yeah, it was bad.
It was this like dark web level bad.
Close, and it was just like a whole bunch of trolls, just because it wasn't like regulated, like it is now. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I think I caught the tail end of that one. It was a thing. I'll just leave it at that.
Why is it like the more vague you are in describing something, the more horror it implies?
It's unspeakable. Things they put on there are just unspeakable.
If you're interested in unspeakable
things, it's like AIDS.
Watch some of our older episodes, especially ones that have Lee and Kenzie, because those get quite interesting quite fast. Yeah.
I've been meaning to listen to the older ones just to see, but I haven't.
They are long, but they are kind of worth it. But if you have nothing to do for about 3 hours, you can listen to 2 of it or 3 of it. They're all in season 3 and 4. By the way, our former co-host Kieran, for those of you who have been here for a while, decided to take down all the videos we did on his channel, and so we now have the Lost Annals of Season 2 are unaccessible, and we're missing about 10 to 15 examples. But you can see bits and pieces of it in the Gamer's Tale Underground playlist on the channel. Which kind of sucks, because we had a lot of actually decent content in there, and now it's just gone.
Why'd he do it?
I think it was, we had a falling out. I hadn't had him on the show in ages. I just dropped off contacting him on Facebook. He went on a couple of wilderness retreats for the Canadian military cadets thing, and then he started kind of prostituting himself as a means of raising money to do something. I forget what it was. And he just rubbed everyone the... What?
Cocaine? No, I don't know.
No, it wasn't cocaine. He was eating... The exact words of it, I think he says, here's a video of me and my friends sensually eating MRE food.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad he took down that channel. What the hell, man?
No. The channel is still there. The video of that is still there. It's just all the stuff that connected to this channel is gone.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, I'd understand if it was like a 21-year-old chick named Brittany doing that, but.
Well, he did cross-dress for a bit, and he did have fake boobs. Yeah.
I don't know what to say to all of that.
I don't know what to say to all that.
He said, I believe the words he used when he posted that picture on Facebook was, "Damn, I make a good chick."
Man down.
Yeah. Well, he was Canadian. It wasn't that far. Yeah, so no harsh feelings toward him or anything, but he has removed himself from our presence and taken some of our content with him, it will be missed. Not really, not that much. He was an angry Canadian.
Well,
Oh, come on. What are those eyes supposed to mean, Sarah? She probably just got to the part where with the cross-dressing. No, it's just like these eyes are in the chat. Anyway. It always seems to take a turn for the worst when we bring up stuff that's not actually about games. And if we start talking about concepts, it gets really weird. So the reason the show is kind of so crap but yet so funny at the exact same time, it's just because we're terrible individuals and this is the internet.
well, personally, I don't know how to handle that. I just don't know how do I respond to that?
Well, yeah. I was going to say, well, you could handle it with your hands, but I don't think you want to do that.
Nope.
I'll stay far away.
Anyway,
it's been
individual, so
what?
I openly admit that I'm terrible.
Indeed, me too.
Yeah, it's kind of. There's this one guy I was watching a streamer. And he says, "I can't believe I thought you were normal." He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to this guy who seems more normal for things. It's like he looks like he's just a jolly guy, and then it's like all of a sudden there's like this really, really terrible joke he makes. It's like, I can't believe I thought you were normal. Why was I so misled?
Kind of like with Lee and Kenzie, though. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the eyes. By the way, the eyes were in response to the sensually eating MREs, not to the cross-dressing. Now I have that image stuck in my head for another 2 days. I think he described it as two humanoid creatures eating processed cheese food. And so the thumbnail of it is just him posed with it almost to his mouth, that like he's licking it or something.
So, about the games, huh?
Yeah, games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The games franchises that should or should not die. Quick, Joshua, what game franchises should be continued and which should die a horrible death in the fire?
Death and rebranding, probably Call of Duty. Battlefield 2. That just needs to stop.
Wait, you don't like Battlefield 2?
I do, but they need to do something new with it. I mean, we've been seeing the same things from Battlefield and Call of Duty, for a decade.
I thought you were talking about the game, because I was going to invite you to play that with me at some point.
Oh no! The whole series, just in general. I still enjoy it, but we want to see something new, something innovative.
Yeah.
Halo.
Which one?
Is about to die, I think. I don't know if it'll good.
Which do you think should be continued on for another few years?
Fallout. We're still not done. I think Fallout will be a good, a good cash cow at least, and very enjoyable for the next decade. I think
there was on part of Facebook a battle between Halo 2 and Skyrim.
Skyrim, yes, continue Skyrim, or continue the whole Elder Scrolls series.
Well, they're probably going to continue that, but.
What else? Witcher 3 or Witcher series. Yes, continue.
I was actually a little bit disappointed that you didn't bring that up for a continuation.
I think they said they're gonna do it at some point, but it's Geralt's story is done. I'm interested to see if there's anything new. Maybe a young Vesemir.
Kyle, which series do you think should be continued? What should be ended?
I'm with Josh on both Battlefield and Call of Duty. I think we might see something of an end with Call of Duty, at least, with them going back to a World War II game. Um, I want to see. I would love to see a Borderlands 3
Oh yes. That would
because
be-
I want to see an exploration of other worlds. Because I mean, that's how spoilers. That's how they ended the second one.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
I mean, I dug it because they bring back or they brought back the original cast as helpers in the second one. I would love to see both casts come back and kind of help along with the storyline.
That sounds interesting. Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah. I also want to
Personally,
see Mercenaries 3, but
which
I
thing?
dream Mercenaries 3.
Ooh, yes, Mercenaries 3. I highly doubt that since Pandemic went under.
Yeah.
What about the Warhammer series? I think that
Ooh.
should really continue.
They're continuing it. They have Inquisitor. Inquisitor is out now, I think.
Yeah, they had just recently the Dawn of War 3 come out. I didn't get it yet, just because it got some pretty bad reviews or mixed reviews.
Yeah, that's the only problem with the internet is that it's like, okay, I can either find 10 equally opposite reviews of a single product or no reviews at all.
Right.
It's a lot of gambling involved when buying things online. It's like some people say it's completely terrible. And others say it's a godsend. And then we find things where it's like it's neither, and no one knows what the hell it is, so we're researching it now.
And it's it's kind of hard to look for games that really will entertain you. Like Witcher 3, I didn't really play it for a couple of years. I got it on a Steam sale. It was just sat there for a couple of years, and I don't know why I didn't play it any sooner. But once I did, it was great.
Our viewer says BF1 equals the best. Skyrim and Witcher. I'll stop yelling. What do I want to see continued? Mercenaries 3 would probably be nice. I would like to see the Metro series, especially if they do a good job on the next part, to do really well. I think Stalker possibly needs another relook because I want to play new Stalker games and I want to play the old Stalker games because it's just awesome.
Mass Effect. That needs a reboot. They really screwed it up with Andromeda and Mass Effect 3.
It's almost as convoluted as the storyline for Dragon Ball.
I would say Dragon Ball might be easier.
It probably is.
Indeed.
I found it quite entertaining to know that I can watch an episode, then skip an episode, and then find out what happens after the events of that episode and the episode after that one. Because it has such a slow storyline.
A lot of powering up.
Lots of staring at each other intently.
Unless you watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. In which case they speed up a lot of those fights.
Yeah, I actually was watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, the final chapters. I got out of it because I had stuff. Yeah.
You guys see Abridged on YouTube?
I have not, but I have seen Hellsing Abridged and SAO Abridged.
The Dragon Ball Z Abridged is hilarious, man.
I'm Black Goku. No, you're more Asian Goku. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but not all of it. I would have to say the weakest one that I've seen for an abridged version is Death Note. The entire thing wasn't funny at all. I couldn't get through the first episode.
Yeah, Death Note, like in and of it, like the whole premise, it was kind of weird for me. I don't know how I feel about it.
Death Note as a Death Note as a premise itself, especially since I've researched it and know how it ends, intrigues me. I plan on watching it at some point in the future, but the abridged was like you have this full-on emo effect just from what you see, and it was poorly executed in its very forced humor and very. I can't really put it into words. It was just like some guy tried way too hard to make an abridged anime because he wanted to, and he decided to choose one of the hardest settings you could get, which would be Death Note.
Yeah, it's pretty much nothing funny about it. It's not like ridiculous. Like it's too serious of a topic or a premise, versus Dragon Ball, which is they can make fun of like Goku and his antics.
Oh, I mean, it's like this entire series is almost a parody into itself. Because you have the classic. Go ahead, Colin.
I was gonna say, how many times can Krillin and Yamcha die?
Forever.
I still like the straight man, not straight man work between Vegeta and Goku.
That is good.
We're getting another Shadow of Mordor? That's interesting.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I have the Shadow of Mordor. I've played it on, Xbox, but I just don't.
I think the next one is called War in the North.
They should have Lord of the Rings. They should continue that whole series.
Oh yeah.
We still have a whole bunch of source material, so I think we can.
I saw a thing today that says, "Rest in peace, all those weekends that were lost to this game they had for Return of the King." It's like, I still lose weekends to that game, damn it.
What about Civ? Do you guys play any Civ games?
I played Civ 2. I have a very...
Not.
I have a hilarious screenshot of my Marines from Fukushima. And the abbreviation for their unit number is FUK.
Yeah. I lost the weekends to that. I'd play a game. I think I still have a Civ 6 game that is probably the first one I ever started.
Yeah. So when my internet went out 1 or 2 months ago, and it was out for a week or two, I played Civ 2. And I built up to the fact that I had the Manhattan Project. Norway, or the Norse, were the dominant railroad power of the entire time. Spain was still in the almost Stone Age era technology. And if I had attacked Norse sooner, I would have been ruler of the world. Because they suddenly launched thousands and thousands of ballistic missiles at all my troops when I decided to try to attack them. And pretty much halved my forces.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't build the Manhattan Project, and I sabotage, other countries from doing it. It's because of that.
It wasn't that. It was the ballistic missiles that were not nuclear.
Oh, okay.
That I got before.
Oh man, they're not even nuclear yet, huh? Jeez.
Yeah, they weren't nuclear missiles. They were just regular ballistic missiles. I had aircraft and everything, and then it's I had 6 units. I was going to think that, yeah, I'm going to get this. And then 3 ballistic missiles hit my carrier. It's damn it. Sunk with all hands on deck.
Yeah, it's I don't know how the the opposing team constructs their defense. I usually just go for a lot of tanks.
Yeah, I eventually got a bunch of tanks as well. It was very nice, especially when I was going up against musketeers. The only thing that I actually found annoying about that entire thing was the Babylonians. The Chaldeans hated my guts and would always attack me very soon after. And so after I became a president, I couldn't wipe them off the face of the earth at my whim because the parliament canceled the war.
I would always, because I'm like militaristic, like you know, I'd usually choose like Japan or something like that, because they had or
I was
Germany.
Emperor of Japan.
So I always choose communism just because it works on paper.
I don't choose communism. I chose capitalism, and it worked really well because I had like a 50% tax anyway.
Oh, so you'd build up your coffers that way. Nice. I would just usually capture them from other civilizations.
Gandhi still hates my guts and will still threaten to nuke me if possible.
So yeah, speaking about like Gandhi in India. So you guys hear about that? China's like trying to horn in on like India right now.
I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah, like I guess there was like some sort of incursion into like China and like or other way around. I forget which, but they're having conflict right now.
That would explain. There's this random Indian kid that hit me up for money a while ago on Facebook. He was talking about something I couldn't really understand what it was because like half in Filipino, half in Hindi, and it sounds like if I understood what he was saying, it's like Gurkha land wanted to like secede from India and become its own nation or get ready to fight. So he's like in church praying about whatever's going on there, whatever's coming.
Yeah, the world's about to end, man. I'm telling you, World War III is just around the corner.
This is where Leva says, "I want to relive the Metro and Stalker series in real life."
Yeah, relive. That's the like operative word, because most probably nobody will
Yeah.
live.
Come annihilate today.
I just see like the world for what it is right now, and it's not going to be good.
Well, I think that is a fantastically happy note to end on because we are about an hour. We're at an hour and 13 minutes, and we usually try to keep it around an hour. Thanks for those of you who have been watching, and if you like the content, you can like and subscribe because I've never really said that before. And cool music plays as the lights go down. We'll catch you next week.